Free Rising. I'm Tanaya, TP, the Perspective Dealer. I wanted to get on here and talk a little bit about my vegan journey because I have people who are just requesting like how I transitioned, why I transitioned, things like that. And a big part of it for me was for my mental health. Yeah, a lot of the meat and the dairy has a lot of chemicals and hormones that are separated from us, and once we consume them, we are now attached to those hormones and chemicals, and it sets things off haywire, right? So I'm a Reiki practitioner. Something I've learned through Reiki is that everything on the outside, every disease starts from some type of mental, spiritual affliction, and then it has to find a way to come out. It always comes out, and it's just about if you get down to it or not. Are you going to solve it or not? Are you going to make yourself a part of your own healing process or not? Are you going to implement the lifestyle changes that are going to change your life or not? And something that I do believe is that ancestrally, veganism is not for everybody, and I feel like it's become a big fad and whatever. I don't even like to put myself in categories for real, so I just said vegan in order to, so that y'all know what I'm talking about. We can do plant-based or whatever. I'm just a person who eats consciously. There we go. But so I started off not eating any red meat from 7th grade, so I guess I was about 12 years old. I watched the documentary Food Inc. and that had me like, what are y'all feeding the cows? I don't want to eat that. It just didn't make sense to me. I didn't want to eat nothing but a grass-fed cow or whatever it was. They weren't feeding the cow the proper diet, so I know that when it was coming to me eating now whatever the cow was eating, I was cool. It turned me off, and I was that young, and I never ate red meat again. So there's that. I switched to turkey and fish and like white meat, chicken, things like that. So chicken was really my go-to. I love a buffalo chicken, everything. It was my fave. So then I eventually started to dial back off the chicken a little bit and started to eat fish more. Then I became a pescatarian. But let me say, I was working for Grubhub in the office, so we would all go out to eat afterwards and after work and things like that. So I saw I was being introduced to more vegan options in Fishtown, and we was at this place, Dos Segundos, one night, and one of my former friends former coworkers, I should say, had some vegan wings, and they had vegan blue cheese and vegan ranch and stuff. I'm like, what is this? But I believe that day in 2019 and 2020 is when I was like, you know what? I'm about to just go vegan. I don't think I need this anymore. I don't need to eat it. I'm like, okay, they got options. They got little chicken, all that stuff. Yeah. But since I was also working for Grubhub, I was learning a lot about foods and ethnic foods and everything that was in the area. So I was trying out a lot, and I realized like I really didn't need the meat, and I was feeling better. My energy levels were better. Also, when I was at Grubhub, I was doing intermittent fasting because with us working for a food distributor, for lack of a better term, a food delivery service. There we go. I just was eating a lot, so I'm like, okay, maybe if I can do this little 16-8 little intermittent fasting thing, then I'll be okay. So that was 16 hours of fasting and 8 hours of eating, and I would just eat during the day and fast during the rest of the time. I can't remember the hours, but so I got used to that, and it was pretty cool. And I already was used to so during the intermittent fasting, my bad, it was just water, coffee, and tea, no sugar, no nothing, and that was cool for me. Like I already was equipped to drinking tea with no sugars and things like that, so it didn't make them never mind. And I was okay. So when it came to the vegan journey, I kind of already had the discipline to, you know what I'm saying? I was picking up discipline on my journey the whole way. Oh, I don't eat this, I don't eat that, denying this, accepting that, and just real hard set on my boundaries because, yeah. So discipline does help with mental health. Eating consciously does help with mental health. Not consuming hormones and chemicals that don't come from you. That helps with your mental health. Sorry to break it to you. And a lot of people may feel like, you know, somebody thinks that they're better or da-da-da, but in a conscious community, I think that, again, when you categorize yourself as vegan or alkaline or this or that, some people get a big head about that. And if you're not here to educate and show love and spread, then it's like, what you really doing it for? I mean, you should be doing it for yourself, but something that I live by and go by is that all flourishing is mutual. So if you're not doing something and like helping your community with this, spreading some knowledge, sharing some tools that they can use as a resource in order to help themselves, like, what you really doing it for? But because I like to eat ethnic food, I just learned how to cook a lot of ethnic dishes, and you start to slowly learn that a lot of people who eat outside of the United States, they eat a lot better, and they incorporate a lot of different fruits and vegetables and things like that. So in 2020, I also had moved and lived by myself, and I think that it's a lot easier to do things for yourself and change your diet and change your lifestyle when you live alone, or just away from your parents, I should say. Just so you have more control and you're not worried about what they're saying or thinking, or all that good stuff. So that was that. And I had a produce junction that was nearby, so I would just go try the little fruits and vegetables. I would look up how to use it. I done saw banana flowers and guava and actual passion fruit, and everything that I had a flavor of inside of something when I was a kid, I'd actually got to eat the real fruit because I had the access to it nearby. And then also with travel, I've experienced a lot of different foods as well, going to Japan and Mexico and the Bahamas, like just having the natural stuff where I don't have to see stickers on everything. El Salvador, like, yeah, the good. But just the whole vegan journey essentially just helped with my mental health. I used to be depressed, and I used to have a lot of anxiety surrounded around a whole bunch of nothing. Living in fear, I guess, is what that comes from. But yeah, just to talk about the chemicals and the hormones, I feel like depression is something where they tell you, oh, it's a chemical imbalance in your brain. That makes you feel like, oh, I was born like this. I had like chemical imbalance. Like, what am I supposed to do about that? No. So they prescribe you a pill that implements you not changing anything in your lifestyle. Of course, if you go to therapy, they'll give you some coping mechanisms and things like that. But it just, me personally, I'm cool off antidepressants. I don't believe that a pill can fix your life. You have to implement lifestyle changes. And one of the lifestyle changes that I wanted to do for myself was changing my diet. It changes everything. And I used to be very depressed about how I looked. I was almost 245 pounds at a time, like, just big. And that was something that I was not happy with. I used to had thoughts when I was younger, like, okay, like if I can stay at this weight, then by the time I'm an adult, then it'll look normal. And I'm like, no, nothing is not going to look normal. If I'm just big, no matter what age I am, I'm going to be big. And that's not what I wanted for myself. And I feel like a lot of people push. It's definitely okay to love yourself where you are, but you should always aim to be as healthy as you can be. And sometimes people's bodies don't be built to be like that. Your joints start to feel the effects of it. It's a lot of arthritis associated with it. When I was gaining weight and stuff, I would get edema. I'm holding water in different places because it's like, okay, I thought that my body was supposed to look like that. They tell you big boned it is normal, and it's like, no. If you let me not say that. How are you going to know unless you change something first, which your body is supposed to be, or supposed to be, like it's not even proper term? How are you going to know if you don't try to change anything? If you just accept, oh, like this is just how I am, I'm supposed to look like this. That's very closed-minded, You may be looking like that because you're like, oh, like my whole family looks like this. Maybe that's because y'all had the same diet. Y'all had the same diseases because y'all had the same diet. Like genetics plays a part, but a lot of genetics is because each generation eats the same. That's why I changed my diet. Y'all talk about breaking generational curses, but not willing to really do the work in your life. Like, it's a lifestyle change that has to be implemented if you really want to invoke change. So, I'm probably going to end this soon. My nice little first YouTube video. I just wanted a safe space to chat and share some information with y'all. If you are interested or you want to hear more, or you want to follow me, I am at The Perspective Dealer on Instagram, and I'll drop some links so that you can book some services with me, or at least just check them out. You're not required to do anything. But thank you. Wishing you peace and love and light and many, many blessings. Thanks for listening.